I really don't know what the hell happened there. That was completely, totally random. But my whole system rebooted. Yo, this is wild. So this is part two of the first part, clearly, of what we were talking about. So this is the reason why you see this thing broken up in two different pieces. I don't know what the hell happened or why it happened, but it's annoying that it happened. So, but we're gonna get on. We're gonna move forward on this. So we're gonna split this, obviously, in two parts. So the first part was about what it's about. It was about the Drake Kendrick battle. Okay, that's interesting. We're going to talk about the topic that's been over the weekend as well. It's man versus bear. Listen, fellas, if you don't understand why, no, there's a flip side to this coin. Okay? If you don't understand why a woman would choose the bear, you're probably part of the problem. You're probably part of the it. There are several reasons why women, metaphorically, let's just start this off. Metaphorically, because there's some guys out there who want to, I guess women call it mansplain. I hope I'm using the term right. They want to tell fellas, okay, this is going to be one of those. Listen, ladies, first of all, about guys, generally speaking, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. Generally speaking, we're fixers by nature. We see a problem, we want to fix it, we want to correct it, we want to be done. We're like handyman. This is what we do. So when we hear issues and things, the first thing we want to do is use our logic to fix the problem that you're having. Fellas, sometimes the problem isn't a quick fix. Sometimes the problem isn't something that we need to fix with them. Sometimes the problem is a problem we need to fix within ourselves. So I want to kind of just preface that real quick. If you're the kind of man that makes a woman feel in danger because of, you're the reason why she's going to choose the bear. Because the bear won't bother her. Right? The bear, there's a post I put where it's a meme of like an animation, and the guy's like, I just don't understand it. The bear's, and the guy and his homeboy is telling him, is like, if I said I'd rather drink poison than go into work today, do you really need to tell me the dangers of drinking the poison? No, because we understand I would never drink the poison. But the fact that I would, metaphorically, rather do this than this should tell you about what I'm trying to avoid. My homegirl gave you're in a room full of snakes. 2 of them are venomous. Would you still be in the room knowing only 2 were venomous and the other 8 weren't? Like, or would you just get the hell out of the room because I don't want a chance getting bit by a snake? It's still a snake. Some of us can't fathom what women go through when it comes to dealing with men, generally speaking. The catcalling, the uncomfortably staring, the look of thirst when they're out and about. It's a constant having to walk to your car with keys in your hands, having to go an extra route because of people you're trying to avoid. Fellas, look at it this way. You live in a neighborhood and, oh God, we're such a homophobic country, right? So you live in a neighborhood and there's a group of people, and you don't want to be bothered with these people. You don't like these people. You don't want to do anything with these people, but you have to live here with these people. So you tolerate these people, and every single time they see you, they got something to say. Every single time you walk past, they got a comment. They have to make sure you know that they're there. Or you're at work as a coworker. Coworkers. And every time you walk past their desk, they mock you for your football team. They always got something to say about the team because they lost. Or, okay, fellas, Kendrick Drake. You're a Drake fan. You're a Kendrick fan. And someone always has to make a reminder of you of that one line from the diss song against the person. And you're just fed up with it. You're just tired of it. Right? Now, put it in perspective in this horrible analogy that I'm giving you. Whichever it is, understand that if you say something to this person, to these people, to this particular group, for what it is that they said to you, there runs a risk that they're going to do it even more. They're going to now bombard you because in their mind, you just don't understand what I'm trying to say. And you being a little bitch about it. Listen, this is it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear no more. But here you are hearing it because here they are telling it. Then you get into the position where you want to do something about it. But there's like 4 of them. And they're waiting for you to do something so they can do something. And you're by the water cooler, or you're by the printer, or you're by the bathroom, or you're in the urinal. You're in the bathroom at the urinal. And you're cornered. They won't leave you alone. And it's almost every time they see you, they gotta say something about your team or your artist or something. And the moment you get fed the fuck up because you just want them to shut the fuck up about what it is that they've been berating you about, now you got an attitude. And now they're going to treat you as if you're the aggressor. That's a horrible analogy to paint of what it's like in many cases for women when it comes to men. We, in our logical minds, can't understand why women don't see the way we do. Here's a newsflash. Generally speaking, they're not wired like that. Because they're wondering, why the fuck can't you just see I don't care? There is no emotional investment on their part into wanting to know what the fuck you mean. They don't care. They don't care enough about what you are trying to explain. That's a lot of the reason why women feel safer with the bear. Because the bear won't bother them. Again, there's probably guys listening to this. Dude, it's a fucking bear. The bear can attack and eat. Bro, you're missing the point, fam. It's not a literal translation. It's a metaphorical one. The bear won't harm her. If anything, the bear will protect her. The bear won't make her feel cringe. The bear will leave her alone. The bear won't irritate her. It's not going to put her in a forceful position to where she feels she has to do something. And then when she reacts to an emotional explosion, right, where this emotional eruption happens, the bear's not going to look at her, tilt his head, blink, and say, "You're tripping." And we don't understand that. We don't grasp that. We don't get that because we're not wired like that. As I said in the first half, when I read the inspirational quote caption, is more empathy, less apathy. Again, it was a horrible example I gave. But if you switch the woman with you and switched you with a coworker or several, and instead of it talking about flirting or, getting with, or insert your team lost, their team won the rap battle. Insert something political. Insert something religious. Insert yourself in her shoes and insert them in your shoes. Take whatever topic you were talking to her about that got her upset. Put in something that would piss you off. And give yourself the same set of rules she has to live by. And if you don't believe that's the case, ask any woman you know, hey, what is it like when you're around a bunch of men that you don't want to be around who are talking to you and you don't want them to talk to you? What are your options or lack thereof? Like, how do you feel? Like, what's that world like? And have her tell you what it's like. Then put yourself in a situation where someone that you're not really fond of is doing to you what would annoy you. And then maybe that light would start to flicker. And then you'll have to put up with the uncomfortable feeling of restraining yourself from doing something that you logically think is harmless, but emotionally it's fucking annoying. Try that. Just try that. And if you attempt to try it, fellas, and within the first few minutes of trying, your reaction is, man, fuck this. Understand she can't say that. And whatever this you're trying to fuck off, it won't fuck off at all. It would then proceed to fuck on. And she'll have to put up with that. Because again, men, physically, strength-wise, there's a difference between men and women. So take yourself and put 3 to 4 guys, twice your size, 3 times your size, which is 3 to 6 times your strength, generally speaking, and they're annoying you. What do you do? Man, we understand. If it's a guy who's bigger, stronger, there's certain things you stay away from those zones. Women have a very similar thought process. I didn't say it's the exact same, but it's a very similar process. But at least with the bear, they understand. He won't bother me. It's not a literal thing that they're going to do. No woman's going to go in. Well, I can't say that because, there's a woman who actually married a tree, then divorced it because of. So, generally speaking, a woman would feel safer with a bear than us because of how we conduct ourselves around them. We need to do better. We need to do better. The world that we once were raised in, believing how men, that world has adapted to something different. Now, that doesn't mean you're less of a man. It just means you have to adapt how a man behaves in today's world. It's not like that. It's not as, for lack of better terms, barbaric. Right? It's not. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of the men, not all of them, but a lot of the men who have a problem with this shit, in my example, they would hate the feeling of being put into a situation similar as the women would. And the sad part about it is a lot of people who are put in these situations that are similar, they fail to understand the message. They can't make the relation of, oh, this is what it's like. Fuck, got it. And then proceed to go to said women, in this example, and say, listen, I just had an epiphany of what it was that I was doing. And I understand, I still can't figure out how I didn't get it, but I understand that I didn't get it. I want to say sorry. And I didn't mean, I meant no harm. In most cases, depending on the relationship you have, you can ask, can you do me a favor and just call me out whenever I do that shit again? Because I'm not meaning to, and I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. That right there, woo! Shout out Ric Flair. That could change a dynamic of how you are now perceived, because at least you now acknowledge and are trying to make the effort. Fix. Focus. Broken. You can do that. You damn sure do that. By doing that, you allow her to understand. You're trying to understand. You're trying to relate. If that makes any sense, good on you. If it doesn't make any sense, you're the problem. And I don't really what else to say, but
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
That's it. Simple as that. As I said, there's a flip side to that coin. There's two sides. There are some, not all, cases where, from a male's perspective, why women believe they're safer around the bear comes from, in some cases, not all, but my observation, like the story Boy Who Cried Wolf. There are some women out there who will embellish a hardship to get what it is she wants, just to be petty. There are some, not all, who say they would rather choose the bear, but don't understand that they're the kind of woman who too will poke at that bear. Some people don't understand there's consequences to your actions, bro. Like, you can't just do and nobody responds or reacts. But there's some people who have this belief, this entitlement. You can't say or do nothing to me because I'm a woman. Are there every single woman who does that? Absolutely not. But from a guy's perspective, there's some women who just have this belief, because I'm a woman, you're supposed to spoil me. You're supposed to cater to me. Here is an example, a horrible example of what I mean by some women who play victim and causes guys to be the reason why you choose the bear. Follow me. You ever had somebody, when something happens to them, the first thing they want to do is pull the race card? Even if it's a valid pull, every time something don't go their way, it's because of the race card. Okay. Are there situations and circumstances where that shit is valid? Absolutely there are. Are there situations and circumstances where the race card is valid and the person who is presenting the obstacle is doing it in a manipulative way to where they can sit back and say, I don't know what you're thinking of, what you're talking. I don't know what you mean. Yes, there are. But are there certain situations where somebody would do some dumb shit and when they get in trouble, they pull their race card because they believe that's going to get them out of it as a manipulative tactic? Yes, there are. So it's very, from a male perspective, and I'm sure there's some women who understand this, very difficult for us to accept that every single woman doesn't understand. Not every guy is the reason why you choose the bear. There are some women who poke the guy to make you want to run to the bear. I was on social media not that long ago, and I kind of made the point of, woman picks a bear, personal experience. 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 And it was kind of like the whole list. It was like, why I chose the bear, and in parentheses, personal experience. And at the guy at the bottom, it said men. So you just don't like men, huh? Again, there's that experience of why she chooses the bear. And some of us guys don't understand that. My response to that was, I totally get it, 100%. It makes sense. I'm with it. But we need to talk about the women who also provoke the situations to where they make it the guy. We need to call out some of the women who give the mixed signals to do. And then when the guy gets to the situation, he's like, okay, now, well, what? And the miscommunication was, they were thinking, this Facebook group, they were thinking I'm talking about physical. I'm like, that's not it. I'm talking about before you get to that part where you make the man, where the woman feels like he's pressuring her, or he's annoying her, or he's bothering her. We're very simple men. We're very direct men. It don't take a lot of understanding, men. It's literally, we will tell you what we want. We're that easy to read. Everything else, case by case scenario. But when you have a situation where the man is being led, and again, this is probably from a manipulative woman who loves to play games because that is just what she believes how life works. I get that. But when a man deals with a woman who is like that, the signals and process isn't clear because There have been women where they say no, the man stops. She gets mad because he didn't try harder, because he stopped at the first no. Again, this is probably a generational thing. Everyone remembers the song by Aaliyah, rest in peace. If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. The song basically says, don't stop at the first no. It literally tells the guy, dust yourself off and try again. Don't take the first rejection. Men, as simple as we are, we will apply that in any and everything. If you remember the movie Hitch, where a woman gives you these reasons, I don't want to say excuses, reasons of why she can't. It could be, what was the one of the reasons he says? Try harder, stupid. Like, I'm putting this up to see if you want to even put in the effort. And most men who don't want anything serious won't put in the effort. So the first no or the second no, at least, will get rid of a non-serious guy. And a man who is serious will make that effort and put in that effort to show you how much you're worth. That's kind of what men think women want. Because that's ultimately how we've been showed, like, be persistent. Women like men who are persistent. Women don't like men who give up easily. Right? Because we understand there are certain things, if you don't get it right away and just walk away, you miss the opportunity at something great if you just want to continue working at it. So for us, that's kind of built in our DNA to be persistent. We have to do better at reading the room and checking the temperature of whether we should or shouldn't be persistent with this. But like I said, there are some women out there who will make an example out of a dude who gave up too easily, who gave up too quick, because he got in his feelings. And a lot of the things women, and some of y'all understand this, men, we're very prideful. We're not wired emotion. Because we've always been taught and raised, emotion gets us killed. Not necessarily literally, metaphorically and physically, or metaphorically and figuratively. In some cases, it is actually literal. But in many, 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 many cases, like in this situation, it's metaphorical. It's figuratively. It gets us killed. It gets us embarrassed. It gets us hurt because we're supposed to be these macho men. And for us to be vulnerable or even connect with that, and I'm speaking from experience, there are women who will manipulate that. When you do have sense of vulnerability, or you do have that sense of wanting to communicate, there are some women who don't understand a man who's trying to get in contact with that. And they're so accustomed to men not being like that in my situation, you get told to man up. Because most women don't know how to process a man that they say they wish they had in communicating and understanding himself emotionally. Now, for every person who wants to sit back and say, well, you need to find a different, okay, we'll find a different man. Women outnumber men was like 3-1. So there's plenty of fish in the sea. But I think what happens is we tend to fish in the wrong lakes and ponds, or we use the wrong bait to go fishing. And then we don't want to change the bait we use to go fishing, because this bait is so much easier and it's so much more convenient, and it's less effort to do. I'm just going to make the fish I want come to me. Okay. But you got to go through all the other sardines, baby, before you get to that tuna. And if that's something you're willing to do, okay, but you got to put up with everything that comes with the territory along with that. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that. I myself was one who, listen, I was fishing in the wrong pond. I was at the wrong lake and understood why this bait ain't catching. Why am I not getting the fish that I want? I wasn't in the right environment. I wasn't in the right setting. Right? I'm looking to heal someone who finds comfort in being broken. Once I realized I need to change my bait and I need to change where I fish, there's a lot fewer fish available, but when you find one, oh boy. But you also need to be honest with yourself about what you want. And a lot of women, generally speaking, want a good man, but don't know what a good man is. Because many of them have never been exposed to a good man or have good men to reference in their lives. So they have this idea of what they think a good man is. So when a good quality man comes around, you treat him or them as if they're abusive and narcissistic and controlling and manipulative. I was talking to a homegirl the other day. I said, by nature, men are protectors. Men, think of it as bodyguards. And if you want a man to protect you, generally speaking, you have to understand we see danger in situations that you are oblivious to because you're not wired to see it. So when you come from relationships of men who are controlling and abusive and manipulative and always trying to tell you what you can and what you can't do, like a father to a child, and you come across a man who's being protective, how would you know the difference if you've never experienced the difference? Most people think they have an idea of an answer. Many don't. Because a controlling man would tell you, no, you're not wearing that. Take that shit off. You ain't going tonight. Oh, no, I'm going with you. A good man would sit back and say, honestly, babe, if you're going to go there, I wouldn't wear that. Now, the wording might be different, but the message that some women hear is the same. I don't need no man telling me what I can and cannot wear. I'm not telling you what you can and can't wear. I'm just saying, if you're going to go there, I wouldn't wear that, because if you want a man to protect you, allow him to protect you. In some cases, most women want the idea of what they think it is, but they don't like the feeling of what it actually is, so they reject it. And when a man is told he needs to be a man, but isn't allowed to be a man, you're emasculating that man. And since we're not wired to understand and process our emotions, we lash out in a way that makes you choose the bear. Men, we got to do a better job of being emotionally in touch with ourselves. But that's very difficult when you're around a bunch of macho motherfuckers and none of them are emotionally mature in the sense of healthy communication. Women, you need to do a better job at holding your homegirls accountable when you see them doing dirty. I was in a relationship once, and I'll never forget this day. I'm not going to say this woman's name, but if you are listening to the podcast and you're my peoples, you already know who this is. And I was driving her and her two friends. I was dropping everybody off. The one I was dating was sitting backseat passenger. And the homegirl I dropped off first was in shotgun. You're probably thinking, why wasn't your girl sitting in the front seat? I didn't tell who to get in the car. I just pulled up in the car. They got in where they got in. So the homegirl I drop off at her apartment, she gets out the front, and I'll never forget this. And I was so fucking innocent. She gets out, and she puts her right hand on the door to close it. She turns around, and she leans in with her right hand on the door and her left hand holding her purse, and she says, "You're a good guy, David." Closes the door and walks away. But she said it in a sense, her tone was exactly, "You're a good guy, David." Like, very empathetic. Like, "I feel sorry for you. You're a good guy." I'm like, "Thank you." And she closed the door, she walks off, and I turn around and I look at my ex and her friend, and they're both leaning to the middle to look at me. I'm like, "What was that about?" "Oh, I don't know. I'm oblivious. So I'm like, okay, I'm a good guy. That's what I'm thinking. I look back and understand what she meant now. Because I was dating a woman who wanted a good guy, because good guys were square. Good guys don't look at all the negative. We don't look at the bad shit. We don't focus on the wrong you could be doing. We're looking at the potential future of a good woman. This ex, boy, let me tell you something. I was lost. This is the same woman I was in a relationship with, who best friend slept with her husband when she was married. And we all joked about it, because I wasn't trying to judge anybody by their past. We all got one. So it's like, okay, I can look past yours, you look past mine. Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. Okay, cool. I don't want to know about your past, because you don't want to know about mine. So let's go ahead and move forward. Let's worry about our future. How about that? Let's worry about our future. That was my whole mindset. But we would joke like, if she slept with your husband and y'all are still friends, what the fuck did you do to get even? Why did that not register with me as a red country-sized flag? I don't know. Maybe because I was so desperately trying to prove to her I'm a good guy. I overlooked all the shit to tell me she's a horrible woman. But I didn't. Because I thought I can fix her. I thought I can change her. I thought I could really turn her into a housewife. Interesting. So, moving forward in relationships, I would do things, and the woman's actions were extremely similar to that relationship. So naturally, it caused triggers. I never physically abuse anybody. I would never verbally abuse anybody. I would make my sarcastic comments. I would make my dry humor. I would say, something slick. Sure. But I never healed from those traumas, if you will, in relationships. Bottom line, I think there's a lot of people getting in relationships with new people, and you haven't got over the old pain and hurt yet. So what we do is we carry that shit over into the new relationship. Women, if you know you have a homegirl who ain't shit, you probably want to be a good friend and stop trying to be a best friend. And tell her, girl, what is wrong with you? That man didn't do anything wrong. You jumped all on him because he did. What's that man supposed to do? I understand that there are situations where men do what men do, but that doesn't mean every man is the same, even though they do similar shit or shit that reminds you of. The Lord knows women do shit that reminds us of. We have to do a better job at identifying what we need to do to fix ourselves so we no longer attract that. But it's difficult because we're in a microwave society where I fuck first and then ask your name and get to know you afterwards. That's what it is. It doesn't help that we're also in a apathetic, desensitized dating era where I don't need to get to know you because all I gotta do is close this chat box and open this one. Swipe here, swipe there. I have multitude accounts talking to multitude of people. It's so easily accessible to date now that people can't figure out why I don't know somebody, because everyone's putting up this facade of who they think you want them to be. And when they get to know the real you, there's a disconnect because that's not the you that was presented, right? We need to do a better job at identifying what the fuck it is that we're doing to cause the other person to react in a certain way that we do not like or approve of. Both genders, both sides. Both sides. Men, we need to do better at making women feel safe enough to wear. The bear ain't so easy of a fucking option to be with. Ladies, please do a better job at not provoking that man to be the reason why you choose the bear. Is that a statement for all women? You're the reason why men? No. There are just some shitty guys out there who think being a man is fill in the blank of what you don't like. That's what makes them a man. There are some shitty women out there who do fill in the blank that makes women look bad to men. Now I'm going to say this. What a woman wears, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. It's low-hanging fruit. And having worked security for nightclubs and bars and lounges, I can honestly say the apparel does add to it. It do. Because men fall in love with what we see. Women fall in love with what they hear, generally speaking. So, if a man is like a wolf and you walk around parading meat, he's going to bare teeth and start salivating. Because it's almost, again, I'm not justifying anything, so hear my tone and my message and not what you think I mean to say. It's almost like some people wear certain outfits to get the attention so they can get what they want. The issue is you only want the good part of what you want, and you wish the bad didn't come with it. Unfortunately, that's not how this realm of reality operates. If you wear fill in the blank revealing outfit and you're going out in public, you have to understand people, not just men, people are going to stare. Whether it's to judge you negatively or judge you positively or even judge you encouragingly. No one cares why you're wearing it. They're just staring at what you're wearing. And if you have a shape that allows the titties to pop out, the ass cheeks to show, the switch you have when you walk that just makes that just hypnotizes people, you understand this is what you do when you wear this and you go out. You have to understand that there's danger that come with that. Men need to do a better job at keeping them hands to themselves. If she says no, you're not the one to get her to say yes, bruh. Move on, right? Ladies, we also have to understand how men operate. So if you willingly are going to an event where you know there are going to be aggressive men, you might want to stay on the other side of the room if you just adamantly want to go there anyway, or B, possibly bring a change of clothes. Don't go alone, right? It's you have to understand, at generally speaking, being smart, reading the room, knowing your surroundings. You have to be aware of these things, right? I'm not telling you what you shouldn't wear. What I am saying is be mindful of it based on where you're going. I'm a man, right? Your boy is 6'3", 369. I'm not a little dude. I'm not this big blubber of a guy. Motherfuckers can think I played a sport at one point in time. So I'm a well-built guy who believes I can handle myself very well. But if I go to a certain area of a certain city and I'm wearing a certain type of clothing, or if I'm wearing a certain style shoes, or if I'm wearing an excessive is subjective, an excessive amount of jewelry, how can I not understand there's a chance someone might want to take what I got? There's a danger there. For me to, I'm just making up an example. I'm just making one up. I'm not saying nothing specifically, but just paint a picture. If I have on $200,000 worth of jewelry and I go to Los Angeles and I'm in an area of Los Angeles where it's known, look, hey, bro, I'm on the clock the moment you got out the car. Like, thank you for holding this shit for me. I was wondering when I was going to get this back. If I go to an area of LA and it's known that type of shit happens, why am I still wearing it? Right? You see pictures of celebrities from Los Angeles as an example. They don't wear nothing flashy. They don't wear nothing expensive. They wear as basic of a shit as possible. Why? Because they understand the environment. They understand if I wear this, that, and the third, there's a chance a motherfucker going to run up and take it. Or there's a chance a motherfucker going to run up and try to take it, and I'm going to have to get engaged in that kind of... I don't want to do all that. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to not put myself in a situation to where I got to even worry about it. If they ran up on me, they're not going to get anything. So they're not even going to waste their time because I got nothing on me. We think like that in terms of danger. I'm not telling women what you should or should not wear. What I'm suggesting is be mindful of your environment, because that's not the way the world works, right? Nobody should do anything to hurt anybody else. That's just a basic, fundamental, common sense thing in humanity. But unfortunately, we all don't live by the same code. fellas, if you know somebody who physically assaults or physically abused women, you might want to pull homie aside and, have that conversation with him. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Have a little talk. Help straighten him out if you know somebody that does that on a regular basis. And if you one of the partners who do it with him, you're the reason why she chooses the bear. Ladies, if you have a homegirl who goes out and attracts the attention that she claims she doesn't want, you might want to pull her to her side and say, look, girl, you're kind of the problem that you can't solve. You know what I mean? You might want to reevaluate something. Because you also not just making us look bad, but you're kind of making us look bad. Be smart. E.I.T.H.R. Than what you think you are. Just suggestion. Just suggestion. Be smart. E.I.T.H.R. than what you are. Because you're putting us in a bad situation right now. So hold each other accountable, right? Hold your friends, hold your colleagues accountable for what he does, what she does. You're not going to I'm not saying control people. We got to control ourselves, but we do need to do a way better job at being held accountable, holding ourselves accountable. Way better job, because collectively it's shitty. Everybody wants to point the blame at somebody else, and it's always somebody else's fault for what you did or did not do. That shit should not fly, but it does. Is that everybody? Absolutely not, man. Like I said, there's always the loud minority of people, the loud minority number of people that's getting majority of the attention. And that's a big distraction. Because nobody wants to be accused of doing something that they're not doing. No one wants to be labeled something that they're not guilty of doing or being. Nobody wants to be associated with somebody that they have no association with. Nobody wants to do that. It's the world we live in, though. So you want to do your best to make sure that the circle you're with represents you. And you represent the circle that you're with. So again, man, fellas, stop being the fucking reason why she chooses the bear. Ladies, do your best at not being the person who provokes him to be the reason why you choose the bear. Right? It's a slippery slope, I guess. But that's just me. You know what I mean? And this whole conversation about the topic of the bear, man, like I said, it's interesting. And it's very difficult to have these conversations with people on social media because they can't hear your tone. They don't know who you are specifically. So when you put a comment like I did earlier, like I mentioned, of we need to hold, as much as this is true and it's valid and it's a valid point and men need to do better, we should hold women accountable who give mixed signals and mislead men to think one thing, right? Again, I'm not talking physical. I'm talking about the whole enticing and flirtatious and big signals of approach and when to talk, when not to talk, and be consistent with it. And men, we got to do a better job at reading the shit. We can read everything else but women. If the signals tend to get mixed, man, probably the best thing to do is walk away. And as I said earlier, sometimes the manipulative ones, the women, will will say shit to cut deep to get you to react. And again, if they do shit like this, you need to stay away from them. But there's some people, man, who will say and do things to get you to respond, so they can turn around and say, "See, I knew it." They don't acknowledge they're the reason why. They just acknowledged what you did. And that's the problem. And I lean more towards, we gotta do a better job at that. Simple as that. That's just me. You guys are more than welcome to hit me back on social media and respond to this. If you have the Spreaker app, SPREAKER, you could even respond to this, episode 144. Alright, so you can hit the phone number 916-282-9372. Instagram, Twitter, the E.I.T.H.R, THEEITHR, the elephant in the room. What else we got? GNSETV.com. GNSETV.com. Free subscription. Sign up for that shit, man. I appreciate it. If you know anyone, short films, music videos, any type of content like that, and want an additional platform, you're more than welcome to reach out to your boy and see what we can do to help one another out when it comes to that. It's just an additional platform. And the reason for the platform, as I said before, is the monetizing from somebody else. I lean towards, there's so many options for people to be able to make money that these corporations are finding different ways to give us platforms, but restrict what we can and cannot do or say. With GNSETV.com, I am the platform. I am the restrictor, if you will. That's what I'm saying. You can reach out to me and we can make something happen, especially if you're up and coming. It's why not? Let's build this foundation together, one brick at a time. You know what I'm saying? So, May 14th, which is Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, because today is May 11th. Yo, I got something to say drops. It's my very first digital album. It's the music that you've been hearing in the background this whole podcast, both parts, part A, part B, is music that you're going to hear on the album. Is it all the songs? No. But it gives you an idea of what you're going to be able to listen to. So I made this just for you to be able to groove to, man. And I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did making it. And yeah, that's what's up. So it's your boy Decal, the E.I.T.H.R podcast here with the GNS HQ in Northern California. You guys have a good one. Happy Mother's Day tomorrow. You guys be safe. Talk to you soon. We out.